millions of dollars and also raising a few eyebrows. While many enjoyed the brief look inside the private lives of Jack and Jackie Kennedy, others thought it was a bit unseemly. If you're among those who want to remember the Kennedy legacy untouched by the gavel, another collection has surfaced. Robert White is the man who has put this collection together, and he joins us now from his mother's home in Catonsville, Maryland. Mr. White, good morning.
Good morning, Jack.
You have gathered, as I understand, approximately 100,000 items over 30 years. The first question to you is why?
I grew up in the 60s, the baby boomer generation, and you know, after Eisenhower's administration, Kennedy's fascinated me, as a lot of young people in their teens, and I just went for the ride. And when Kennedy was killed in Dallas, it affected me, and I knew he was a martyred president, and I thought of him as a Lincoln-esque type character.
You're standing now amongst many of those items. We said some 100,000 of them. They're stored now in this area. How did you get access to so many of these items?
I befriended some of the insiders that worked for Kennedy, the closest people to him, not the maids and butlers, but the real insiders. And they saw my keen interest as a youth, and it's really a great story, but they gave me and shared with me things that were extremely private, and in some way I'm carrying on the legacy after they died.
Let's take a look. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's take a look at some of those items you mentioned, the private items that are helping you carry on the legacy. Tell us what they are, if you would. First, a briefcase that you have.
Yes, the briefcase is a stellar piece, one of my favorites, because it's the one he carried throughout his political career. He got it in Paris in the late 1940s, used it in the 50s as senator, and it was on the plane in Dallas as president.
You also have a watch, a President Kennedy watch?
Yes, the watch, his kind of favorite watch. He got it on election night from Grant Stockdale, later appointee in his cabinet. And Mr. Stockdale gave it to him on election night, and he wore it when he was inaugurated and wore it for the first year in office. And
you have some passports?
Yes, the first passports. Couple? Yeah, their passports are Jackie and John's 5-year passports. He used it as a congressman. She used it as a photojournalist. And Jackie's passport was issued to her as Jacqueline Lee Bouvier and amended when she married John in 1953. And also a couple of John Kennedy's wallets. Yes, the wallets encompass most of his senatorial and presidential years. He used it from 1956 to the one wallet from 1956 to 1962, and the newer wallet from only a year, 62 to 63, and it was the wallet that he had on him in Dallas. I understand you also have a humidor different from the one that was auctioned. Yes, mine Kennedy kept on his desk in the area of the Oval Office and used it for guests. He would always smoke his little Cuban cigars and wouldn't share those with the guests usually, but this humidor housed the ones that he would share with guests. Mr. White, great items. I wish we had more time to go over them. I understand you have no intention of selling them. You want to start up a museum? Yes, I want to set up a museum, and I want it to be a great museum in honor of Kennedy. Thank you again for joining us this morning, Robert White, and sharing your collection with us. Thank you. We'll be back after these.
Is Dana